or they sort of wanted to give me comeuppance or something. We'll show him. But it totally changed the way that I when I joined MUFON, I became a field investigator. I thought I was going to be investigating alien spaceships, and it's very different from that. It's a personal. I believe it's a personal phenomenon. I think if you poke at the universe, don't be surprised if it pokes back. That it's an interactive phenomenon.
Well, thank you very much, Earl. Hey, and Wilson says hello.
Hi, Wilson. I don't know if he knows my story, actually. He comes out to our local MUFON meetings. Well, he knows I'm not, I may be crazy, but I'm not insane. So, that is what happened to me. And when I hear the crazy stories that I hear, and I hear a lot, and I hear them from all types of people, scientists, oil derrick workers, Marines, aerospace engineers, people. It seems like the phenomenon is not a respecter of persons. It does seem like it's like, I'm not sure if it's a dance that we're having with the phenomenon. It's a strange thing to be obsessed with, alien life and UFOs. I mean, how does one become obsessed with that?
It's easy.
Maybe we're sort of baited. Maybe it's like this dance, and we're drawn to it. And because I don't think that this was just a random thing that happened to me. Looking at my life and my family, my mother was in aerospace, and she knew that the phenomenon was real. It tends to go generationally. It seems to me like it's all, everything is in its right place. But it sure did surprise me. I really, truly didn't expect CE5 to work, communicating with aliens. I was doing it as sort of a lark, and when it worked, it was not what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't Space Brothers. I was certainly not in control of it in any way, shape, or form. But I can certainly listen to people and hear the fear in their voice, and then I'm able to calm people, I think, where if I hadn't gone through this myself, I probably wouldn't have that ability. But it's a personal phenomenon.
Well, you know what? I think a lot of people are coming out of woodwork and talking about it, because, I've been doing talk radio a long time. And 20 years ago, if you talked about UFOs, which we did, people would sit there and you'd sometimes go, okay, I wonder what hospital he escaped from. But nowadays, people are coming out with all kinds of stories. Now, a lot of them, I'll be honest with you, I don't believe, and James is going to start laughing, I know it. I don't believe there's 25 million cloaked UFOs protecting Earth. I don't believe they give you nice, bubbly, warm orbs and make you feel good. I just will say this. If they're here to help us, they're sure not doing a damn good job, because look at Vietnam. Look at the Korean War. Look at World War II. Look what happened in the Middle East twice. Look what's going on worldwide. It's scary.
We saw a lot of UFOs in Vietnam,
Oh, tell me about that. One of my good friends told me who flew for a while. He was actually a bomber pilot, a colonel. And he saw a UFO off his wing after he made a bomb run in North Vietnam, and he was coming back, and his mistake was he radioed it in that there was a UFO off his wing, wanting to know what to do about it. Well, by the time he landed, his plane he was instructed not to get out of the plane, wait till the guys come. There's guys in suits. It took every crew member to a different office and interrogated them, and then told him he never seen the UFO, and that his promotion rank would never go up. So he decided to, at that point, he retired as a colonel, got a job with Republic Airlines at the time, worked his way up to one of the vice presidents, and told me that he would tell pilots, you see a UFO, this is going back in the 80s, don't report it, whatever you do, because if you report it, 1, you're going to lose your job. 2, you're probably going to lose your license because that
will ground you.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
yeah, and he swore up and down. He said that when he was making that, after he made that bomb run, and he was heading back to Guam, he just happened to look out his cockpit window, and here was a UFO off his wing, like a couple 100 feet, just following him, and then it went poof. It was gone. And he said it shook him up.
Like they're interested in the manifold ways we have of killing each other. I mean, if you blow up a nuke, you'll see a UFO. If you have a secret missile base, you'll probably see UFOs there. If they seem to be drawn to our violence. And I don't know if we're being studied or if they get off on it.
Yeah, well, it could be both. It could be both.
Who knows? I mean, I don't think that it's all one thing that's going on. That's for sure. But they used to call them VC helicopters, Viet Cong helicopters. There was no such thing. The Viet Cong did not have helicopters. That was something that they did not have in their arsenal. But that is what they called them on the record, were VC helicopters.
Oh, yeah.
And people saw UFOs. And it was a thing. I've heard from many different people that were over in Vietnam that have told me the same story. And that if you look it up, UFOs, Vietnam, VC helicopters, you can Google that and it'll come up, a lot of information about that. So, I don't know if we're just being spotted, if they're keeping us from destroying ourselves completely.
Well, I don't think, here's the thing.
I don't know.
Earl, here's the thing. Antarctica is melting, right? We got the sea rising. We have, a super volcano that could go at any time. We have the Earth magnetic field. It could do a flip. We have Earth changes going on, which who knows what could happen in the next year, 6 months from now, or 5 years from now. If they're here to help us, okay, they sure haven't done a damn good job at all. Because look what's going on. If they're
here to destroy us or invade us, though, they're doing a terrible job of that, too.
Well, maybe they want us gone.
Maybe it's a hands-off thing, Maybe it's like, Star Trek where, they have, what do they call that? The prime directive where it's hands-off.
Yeah, but I don't buy that
abducting or visitating people is not hands-off.
No, I don't think
our bedroom was not hands off.
Like Whitley, and people claiming that these aliens touch him in the private parts, okay? Or I've had people say that they had eggs removed or sperm removed, all this stuff.
And that's common. Yeah. And that's common. That's the usual story you hear.
Yeah, so if they're here to help us, they sure don't care about us as a human race, a humanoid race. All I can say is, you listen to Preston Dennett, or about underground UFO or underwater UFO bases. A lot of sightings of UFO underwater. Maybe they're speeding up Antarctica melting. Maybe they want to make our planet theirs. We just don't know what's going on. I could be on the camp. It says, "Hey, they're here to help mankind." They send off orbs and they communicate to me. Why just me? Why not some scientists? But, I'm not saying they do that. No, they don't communicate to me. But this is what I hear from people, and that the world is going to be such a beautiful place. Love each other. All I know is something is going on. And, it's been going on for a long time. Maybe, because me and you are getting older, but maybe we might live long enough to find out what's going on. Maybe.
I don't know. And you know what? As far as the motives, if there's one overarching motive over everything else, I don't know what it would be. I don't know what it is. I like to think that there's some benevolence that is controlling everything and keeping them from destroying us. But I can't say in absolute certainty that is the case. It is interesting that we're still here. 72 years after Roswell, and we've been visited before Roswell, I think, but it seems like things kind of ramped up at that point. We're still here. Now, maybe they're just really slow and methodical about their invasion tactics. I don't know. But I think, all he would have to do is lob an asteroid, or they could have hit us with a something like this corona virus that we have right now times 100, and we would be a problem. There's many ways that they could get rid of us and still have a planet with an atmosphere and a biosphere. So I don't know. I think that there's something going on that perhaps we don't even have the comprehension to understand what it is.
So well,
maybe we're what they do in lieu of video games. I don't know. I don't know, but it's interesting.
We could be nothing more than a civilization in a matrix, or we're a hologram. I mean, you hear all these things, Earl.
Could be.
It could be, and I could be smoking grass right now, but I don't. But here's the thing. I hear all this weird stuff all the time, every day. And you know what? Maybe someday we will find out. Well, Earl, maybe I want to thank you for coming on. I can give you one more minute. Is there anything you want to say in that last minute?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me on, Gary. It was good talking to you, James, and Audrey, for calling in. And if anybody out there has seen a UFO, or if any of what I've been talking about sounds familiar to you, go to MUFON, MUFON.com, and you can click on Report a UFO, or you can also click on, report that you have been visited or abducted. You have various choices there. Go to MUFON.com, and we're sort of grand central of ufology. We've been in existence for 51 years now, doing the Air Force's job since 1969. So I love the wonderful corporation I work for, MUFON. It's a nonprofit. We're all in it for the love of the phenomenon. We're all volunteers. Nobody's paid for this. So there you go.
Well, Earl, I want to thank you for, doing what you do with MUFON, and I want to thank you for being on. And last, I want to thank you for that great music.
Thank you, Gary. It was my pleasure.
Okay, my friend, you take care.
Bye-bye.
You too, my friend. Take
care. Night.
Bye, James.
See ya.
Well, so, James, it makes me wonder. What do you think's going on?
A lot of food for thought. I know it's a hard pill for me to swallow that they're abducting people against their will, and then they're just trying to say, well, spread love to people. That's our message. But then people say, well, they don't know what emotions are. Well, then how do they know what love is that they're telling us to spread? I
don't know. I will say this. We're almost out of time. I have got so many text messages for people through Messenger tonight saying that they are, being bumped off of our website, off of Speaker, and a couple other platforms. I went because I can see how many people are on my server. And I'm not going to say the amount, but it's more than I've ever had tonight. And it's crazy. Even myself, when I had a hard time getting onto this app, I kept getting bumped off. That when you get too many people on, that's what happens. It overwhelms the app or my server. So all I can say is we have had a lot of listeners tonight. I do want to thank Earl for coming on. It's fresh to get his ideas, his views as an investigator. And I also want to thank you, James Krischbaum, for stepping up and doing the news for 26 minutes on Friday. The good news is I want to ask you if you want to do that from now on every Friday. We'll just do one newscast for 26 minutes and cover everything paranormal, earth changes, and all that.
Sure, why not? I'm going to be a marathon talker. One of these days, you're going to talk me into being a politician. I just can feel it. But yeah, that was great.
I always try. Yeah, I guess. I don't think, what can I say? And again,
that was good.
You know what? If you want to have us on your local radio station, what you need to do is start a campaign. You send them an email. Get your friends to send them an email. Then you start calling up the station programmer and say, hey, why aren't you playing Night Dreams Talk Radio? That's how we got picked up on in Philadelphia. It is because, there's a group of people that contacted. And that's a good way to get our show in your neighborhood.